So we're going to use ultramarine blue, which is a value 3. And we're going to add some white to it. Let me put a little off to the side to measure with. We're going to add some white to that. We're starting out as a value 3. We've added some white. It's lighter. Not a value 8 yet though, is it? Let's say somewhere between 5 and 6. Oh, we have to add more white, so let's do that. A lot lighter. I'm thinking we're still only at about a value 7 because it is going to dry darker. Yeah, I think it's a 7. So let's add a little more white. Now, it is looking like a value 8. And maybe I did need that white in there because I'm going to put it all in there because it's going to dry down a value darker. Okay, let's see what we got. There's a 10, a 9, and an 8. I think when this dries it will come down to a value 8. Okay, so we've gone from a value 3 blue, added white, and gone to a value 8 blue. Get paint all over me when I do this. And then I pick up a paper towel that's got even more paint on it. Okay. So, you know, I could use this as a background color. This is the light blue that you made in lesson 1 in module B. And I could, if I want to use this as a background color, I could, but this is kind of popping. And it would compete with anything that I put on top of it for attention. So I need to tone it. So I'm going to take some of this, and I think I'm going to add just a touch of black to it. So let's pull this over there. Let's pour out a little black. Got nearly empty bottles. So let's just put a touch of black in this. Okay, we still got a blue. Still have a light blue. But now it's sort of a blue-gray, isn't it? Because we've toned it. Now, wouldn't that make a whole lot more pleasing background color than this? Because this would not be competing with everything you put on top of it. It would embrace it and enhance it, but it would not try to beat it out for the attention. And I think that it dropped us a value too. Can you tell? It dropped us down to about a 7 because the black was a value 1. So we put a value 1 in with a value 8, and we had to lose some value. We had to lose some brightness and some lightness. We lost lightness with the black, and we lost brightness with the black also. So we lowered the value and we lowered the intensity as well. Okay. So now I'm going to put, let's get my light gray. I had it out here, or not. Let me grab it. Thought I was prepared. Okay, here's our light gray value 8. Okay, what do you see? Same value. Same value between the light blue 8 and the light gray 8. Okay, let's mix these two together. We're going to do 8 plus 8 equals 8. Once again, we get a very nice, very pretty toned background color. It's still a light blue. It's still a value 8. See, it's still one value lighter than this. But now it is also a very nice toned light blue. So see, you can reduce the intensity, you can make it duller without reducing the value. All you have to do, 8 plus 8 equals 8. If you got a 6, 6 plus 6 equals 6. Same with a value 2. If you have add a value 2 toner to a value 2 color, you're going to stay a value 2. So if you like how light a color is, but not how bright it is, tone it with a color that has the same value. Because if you don't do that, then you will change the intensity and the value at the same time. Okay. Now we're going to do one more experiment, one more exercise. Now there's my background of medium white. Okay. Now you've heard a lot of people say, a lot of artists say, that bright colors advance and toned colors recede. Well, this is not always true. Your eye will tend to pull to the color with the highest intensity, but that color does not always advance. Colors do relate to their backgrounds. A good example is a sunset. The bright colors are away from you. Reverse light painting captures this also. That will be something to study for the future. So now, the intensity of a color relates to its background, and the difference between the intensity of the background and the intensity of the color you're putting on it is called contrast. Just as in Lesson 1 in Module B, we learned that contrast develops between the values of the colors and backgrounds as they got farther apart, and this applies to intensity as well. If a background is toned and you place a bright color on it, the bright color will advance. So, let's say that you're doing a painting and you have a background color that you like, and you put out some palette colors, and when you paint them on the background, they kind of jump off of that background, or they compete for your attention with the background, or the background is competing for your attention with the colors for your painting. So what you need to do is relate the colors to each other, and you do this by toning them together and bringing their intensities closer together. So now we're going to start with a background of medium white, and I'm going to put a square of, not a square, but I'm going to put a bit of Hansa yellow, on the medium white. Now that just really pops right off that background. It's not pleasing to your eye. You probably got some vibration going on there, and it's just not a good combination. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring these two colors closer together and give them harmony so that they relate to each other. So let's put a little more yellow out here. And I'm going to put out a little bit of medium white. So now I'm going to take some of this medium white and I'm going to mix it in with the yellow. I'm going to paint that right next to that bright yellow. Okay, it's a little bit better. It's kind of moving towards that background a little bit more. It's not quite as bright and shouting as this color was. Let's add a little bit more. Now look. Same Hansa yellow, but we've added the background color to the Hansa yellow, and you see as we go back and go back, you see that the more background color we put into this bright color, the better it goes with this background, and the better it blends and the more harmony you have. So you can pretty much use any color anywhere, just relate it to each other. Relate